Hello, I'm John Huddle, and today I'm going to be talking about what happened a week ago this past Thursday. I missed a call from a reporter. Not taking time to listen to the voicemail, a few minutes later I called them back. Have you heard? There were more members indicted today. Kent Covington and Diane McKinny. I know them. It's Mary and Kent Covington, right? Yes, I replied. Wire fraud involving unemployment benefits. My mind started racing. This is no parking ticket. My phone started going off, message alerts. My email started filling up. A little later, a call from another reporter asking if I'd heard, and then someone else called asking if for sure Diane McKinny was a Word of Faith member. Yes. Thus began the next public unveiling of more details in the unemployment scheme first reported in September of 2017 by the Associated Press. In May of this year, the news was confirmed by the guilty plea of Dr. Jerry Gross and his son Jason Gross. They pled guilty on May 25th to one count of wire fraud and are waiting for their sentencing. Each was assigned a $200,000 unsecured bond. Jerry and Jason were charged to a bill of information and waived the indictment process, affirming the information presented by the federal attorney, pleading guilty without a trial. Kent Covington and Diane McKinny face a different process. They are facing the indictment and will go through some additional steps. Yes, the recent press release reminds us all that Covington and McKinny are presumed innocent until or unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. Unless things change as the process goes forward, these two defendants appear to be headed for a highly visible, widely publicized trial. We thought the State versus Brooke Covington trial was a media frenzy, and it was. This will be bigger as the charges carry severe and far-reaching penalties. After reading the bill of indictment, it mystifies me to consider a plausible defense for Covington and McKinny. Would the U.S. Attorney move forward without highly credible and irrefutable evidence? Would he even waste his time if there were doubts and holes in his case? Let's read a little bit from the bill of indictment. Number 3, beginning around the time of its initial implementation and continuing until in or around March 2013, Covington and McKinny, aided and abetted by others known and unknown to the grand jury, promoted the scheme to other business owners and managers in their community. At least 5 businesses implemented the scheme as designed by Covington and McKinny, resulting in substantial monetary losses to the state of North Carolina and to the United States of America. This reading leaves the door open for other business owners to be indicted. I read this as 5 other business owners besides Covington. We know one other, Dr. Jerry Gross. Reading on, 14b. Next, Covington called a business meeting at DCT, Diverse Corporate Technologies, and informed the remaining DCT employees that the company could no longer afford to pay their wages and that they therefore would be placed on unemployment benefits, but that Covington expected the employees to continue to work at DCT full-time in order to help the business survive. Covington used his position of authority within his church community, which included most, if not all, of the employees at DCT, to coerce the employees to comply. No shock here. Kent walked. While I was inside, I left shortly before this started. But while I was inside, Kent walked in quote-unquote God's authority when it came to business matters, according to the leader, Jane Whaley. And all former members said, Amen. Reading on, number 18. By September of 2009, several other businesses run by members of the same church community to which Covington and McKinny belonged, Word of Faith Fellowship, that's not in the indictment, and employing many members of that church community, were facing financial struggles related to the economic downturn. Covington and McKinny promoted the fraud that Covington and McKinny had devised at DCT to other members of the church community. Letter C. After the scheme was successful at DCT, Covington implemented the variation of the scheme a second time with McKinney's help at Integrity Marble Incorporated, doing business as Integrity Marble and Granite, another for-profit company that Covington owned and managed, in or about March of 2010. Letter D. Covington then implemented the variation of the scheme a third time at Skycatcher Communications, a company he managed in or about May of 2011. Let me explain an underlying dynamic in this all-inclusive church community. Employees of the companies mentioned had very little, if any, say on how they were paid or when they worked. If they did not agree to the scheme posed as God's will, they risk unemployment, church discipline, or worse, to go against the plan of God. I have heard of some who disagreed and sought employment in another church member-owned company. They did it with fear and trembling, knowing the risk. Isn't that a sad and pathetic thing to think to have to navigate in order to keep attending a quote-unquote church? There are hidden and unforeseen costs when your membership becomes all-inclusive. Many present and former members have discovered this truth. The first appearance hearing for Covington has been moved to June 25th. McKinney's hearing is tomorrow, June 18th, in the courtroom number 2 on the 3rd floor of the U.S. District Courthouse. This is the same room that Jason and Jerry appeared a few weeks ago. The hearing will start at 9:45 unless something changes before then. There is yet more drama to unfold as the hot summer of 2018 rolls along. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, religiouscultsinfo.com. Follow me on Facebook, John Huddle Author, and you can follow this blog on Twitter, @religiouscults. We'll see what happens.